In this video tutorial, let's talk about circle graphs or pie chart. So suppose we have this information and this information tells us about your daily routine. Okay, how do you spend your 24 hours of your day? So here you sleep for 8 hours, you spend your 6 hours in school, then you use 4 hours to complete your homework, for 3 hours you play, and then for other activities you take 3 hours. Now, if I have to, if we have to represent this information or data using a bar graph, so it will be something like this, right? So on this vertical line we have hours, on this horizontal line these are your activities, okay, and the height of all these bars tell us the hours you spend daily. Now if we don't use this bar graphs, and instead of using bar graph, if we use this circular graph or pie chart, this is a circular graph or pie chart of this information of your daily routine. Okay, so here this is a circle. This sector, this one, tells you that for 8 hours you sleep. This sector represents how many hours do you spend in school, and so on and so forth, for homework, for play, and for other activities. Now, this is a pie chart or a circular graph for this one. But you will say that, hey, this is a rough diagram. And how do we know that what will be the size of each of these sectors which represent this information? That is for sleep, for school, for homework, for play, and for other. How to tell that what will be the size of each of these sectors? So in that case, what you do is, if I take this angle and if I take this angle of this sector, if I take this angle of homework sector, if I take this angle of play sector, and the remaining one is this one, tell me if we represent it using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So tell me, angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 plus angle 4 plus angle 5, will this be equal to 360 degree or not? Yes, this is equal to 360 degrees, right? Because at the center you make 360 degrees. Okay, so now tell me, if you use 8 hours to sleep, okay, so if we find the ratio, ratio of the hours you sleep, the hours you sleep to the total hours in the day, total hours in a day. So this is equal to 8 by 24. This is the ratio. Now if you simplify it, you get the highest common factor is what? 8. So 1 by 3. So this is the ratio, 1:3. This ratio is what? This is the fraction. This is the fraction of 24 hours that you use for sleeping. Okay, so out of 24 hours, the 1/3 of these 20 hours you sleep. This is actually what? This is a fraction. This ratio is telling you the fraction of hours that you use to sleep. So 1/3 of 24 is what? 8 hours. That is what it is telling. Okay, so now tell me, if the hours that you use is 1/3 of the 24 hours, it means that this angle which is being made by this sector that represents the hours you take for sleeping, Tell me, will this be 1/3 of 360 degrees or not? Yes, this will be 1/3 of 360 degrees, because we know that the ratio of the hours you sleep to the ratio of hours in a day is 1/3. It means that if you take 1/3 fraction of 24 hours, then that will give you the hours you sleep. Same thing will be for angle. If the total is 360 degree, therefore the fraction 1/3 of 360 degree will be this angle. So 1/3 of 360 degrees is equal to 120 degrees, right? So this angle 1 is equal to actually 120 degrees. So what we do is, let's say this is our circle. Let's take this radius and I'm going to draw a rough diagram. You can use a protractor or compass. Using whatever you use, you have to make 120 degrees. So taking this as a baseline, suppose we draw 120 degrees and it's something like this. Let's say this is 120 degrees, right? Or let's say a little bit more. Let's say this is 120 degrees. So if this is 120 degrees, then in this way you can draw the sector for sleep section. So this sector represents the hours you sleep. So, and this is equal to what? 8 hours, that we already know. Okay, now come here. In the same way, if you find the ratio of the hours you spend in school to the hours, total hours in a day, that will be equal to, let me remove this. So in this case, your R ratio will be 6/24, and 6 is the highest common factor. If you simplify it, the ratio comes as 1/4, right? And this is telling you what? The fraction of 24 hours. The fraction of 24 hours. So 1/4 of 24 hours, you use this for your schooling. You spend these many hours in your school. Okay, so if this 1/4 gives you the information of how many hours you spend in school, same will give you the information that what will be the angle here. So 1/4 of 360 degrees will be equal to what? This is equal to actually 90 degrees, right? So if we take this line and if we draw 90 degree from here, from this baseline, let's say that this is 90 degree. So this comes as 90 degree, and this is what your hours you spend in school, and this is 6 hours. Okay. Same thing here then. This is homework. So tell me what will be the ratio. Ratio will be 4/24, right? 4 to 24. And this comes as, if you simplify it, highest common factor will be 4. This comes as 1/6, 1 to 6. Now, this is what fraction. 1/6 of 24 hours is actually what? Is 4 hours only. So if we take 1/6 of 360 degrees, this will give you the fraction of hours you use for homework. The fraction of 360 degree will be 60 degrees. It means that when you make this sector for homework, this has to be 60 degrees. It means that what? Now the baseline will be this one, right? From this baseline you will draw 60 degrees. So using this baseline, if we draw 60 degrees, let's say that if we draw 60 degrees, let's say it comes something like this. Okay. Again, you can use protractor or compass. So this is what? 60 degrees, and this is your hours you use for homework. This is 4 hours. Now, here the ratio 3 to 24, this comes as 1:8. That is 1/8 fraction of 24 hours is equal to what? 3 hours, right? So 1/8 fraction of 360 degrees will be equal to what? This comes as 8, 4, 32 and 45 degrees, right? So this 4 is equal to 45 degrees. Now if you see here, again, even this the hours that you use for other activities is also equal to 3 hours. That is, angle 5 will also come as 45 degree only, right? So first let's draw for this sector that represents play. So using this baseline, you draw 45 degree. Let's say that our 45 degree comes like this. So this is 45 degrees, and this is for the hours that you use for playing. So this is 3 hours. And the remaining one is for other activities, and this will be equal to 45 degrees. And here also you use 3 hours. Okay, now if you want to cross check it, add up all these angles. 120 plus 90 is 210, plus 60 is 270, plus 45 plus 45 means 90. So 270 plus 90 is 360 degrees. It means that yes, the angles are equal. Now add these. 8 hours plus 6 hours, is 14 hours, plus 4 is 18 hours, plus 3 is 21 hours, plus 3 is 24 hours. Even this one is also correct. So this is a way to make a pie chart or a circle graph for the information that we have here. Okay, another very important point that we need to discuss here is, imagine, and this is very important from the question point of view, point of view, because maybe if suppose these hours were not given to you, and just forget about this information. Okay, let me remove this. Okay, imagine that you have only this information, and someone asks you that this circle graph or pie chart represents the daily routine, your daily routine, and these are the angles made by each of these sectors. Can you tell on the basis of this that how many hours do you use for sleeping, for your schooling, for your homework, for your play, and for other activities? You don't know the hours now. One thing you know, that this whole circle, complete circle, will represent what? 24 hours. That is for sure. Okay, no one can deny that. Okay, this much we know. So tell me, can't we calculate on the same basis, using the same concept of fraction? Here we don't know about hours, but we know about angles, right? So what will be what is this fraction of 120 degree of the whole 360 degrees? So 120 degrees divided by 360 degrees is actually what? Is actually 1/3. This is the fraction, right? It means that 1/3 of 24 hours will give you the hours that you use for sleeping, that you use to sleep. So this is 8 hours. So here comes 8 hours. Same way, if we know the angle made by this sector that represents the time that you use for schooling, so your school, so here it is 90 degrees, so 90 degree by 360 degrees, this gives you 1 1 by 4, it means that 1/4 of 24 hours you use these many hours in school. So 6 hours. This gives you 6 hours. In the same way, this is 60 degree by 360 degrees. This gives you 1 by 6, that is 1/6 of 24 hours will give you 4 hours. So these many hours you use for doing your homework. Then 45 degrees by 360 degrees for this one will give you what? Will give you 1 by 8, and 1/8 of 24 hours is actually what? 3 hours. So this comes as 3 hours, and this also comes as 3 hours because this is also 45 degrees, right? So if you don't know about hours, and if you are given only the angles of each of these sectors, then also you can calculate hours. If you don't know about angles and you have to decide that how to draw a circle graph or a pie chart for given information, then first calculate the angles, and then on the basis of that you can decide the sizes of all of these, each of these sectors.